What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with another episode of Light of the Azure, our attempts to stabilize the Great Vortex and secure Ulthuan. We've been fighting a lot, an awful lot, between Skaven and Chaos coming in, the Druki on the west, and now Yvresse, and Ingmir, their faction leader, is coming in. We had to side with Avalorn against the Yvressian elves because, well, we want to confederate with Avalorn eventually. So we do have this one rather massive. I swear I can English. But let's face it, half the fun of these shows is laughing at me and my inability to speak. This giant stack is coming in and is starting to threaten us. We do have Phoenix and his militia army, since the elven spearmen and archers, even though they're upgraded with light armor, are militia for the high elves. And every elf has to be called to service. He does have a couple of Eagleclaw bolt throwers and some Illyrian Reaver archers, so we'll have to deal with that. And Injurial itself, that is the wrong button, has a fairly decent garrison. Some White Lions, a Noble, some Lutheran Sea Guard, and some Silver Helms. So I'm not too worried about that just yet. However, Auric, with his Swordmasters, his militia, and a very, very large army stack is sitting right there. I'm not sure if we can send Phoenix back, or if he is just returning to Angurial. We might have to wait and see where the Yvressian army goes. Or, if I pop myself into March stance, I can get my army close enough, which has a couple of dragons, still be tired entering the battle. But it's probably the best option right now, is to go into March stance, get as close to this Yvressian army as we can. Yeah, we're going right into the action this week. It's really great. Head them off with Tyrael, which is my avatar in all this, and take Auric's army over to combat Yvresse. Then we can go over to the cairn and deal some damage. Now, I definitely want to fight this battle. Their leader is really good in his army command aspects. They do have a couple of loremasters of Hoeth, so wizards and spellcasters in general, but the rest of it is mostly militia, except for a lot of cavalry. We have enough to deal with their cavalry. Our spearmen are good against them. We have some swordmasters. Our archers are going to do a lot of damage to their ranged forces. And when we get into this battle, it's going to be fun. So let's jump right in and get everything set up this week. And this map we've fought on several times now. And if we can take a defensive stance, that would be better. Let them come to us. If we have to go to them, that's fine. They are more veteran than we are, in most cases, but we have some Great Eagles and some Bolt Throwers to deal with the Yvressian army. I would be tempted to send down forces down into that little valley there, but if we can set our Bolt Throwers up here, and we're going to select them and group them up pretty baseline, see if we can get as much range on it as possible, and we're going to swap them over to the multi-shot round right away. Don't want to deal with them like that. Now our Great Eagles, we're going to group them up, and we're going to send them off over this way. Have them come in down on the flank, and generally be a nuisance and a harassment to all of the forces. Our spearmen, we're going to set up as a frontline force. Not right there. I was trying to click up a little bit higher. We're going to set them up in the woods, and our archers with light armor, they're actually pretty good where they are. Phoenix, I want you basically in the front row with all the spearmen. And our swordmasters, we will set up just a little bit higher up on the hill. This way they can charge in and get a big bonus off of their charge. Our Illyrian Reavers, however, since they are able to advance deploy, vanguard deploy, I should say, we're going to set them up in a place where they can start damaging the enemy as quickly as possible. So I think we're going to set them over here in these woods, and then we'll get them to go in and harass from one side. And of course, my army stack and the reinforcements are coming in back from over here, and they'll immediately shore up this left flank. So let's start the battle and see how it turns out. Alright, so we're just going to pause quickly and bring these spearmen up to buffer that flank. We'll grab our dragons, send them up into the middle, and Tyrion, of course, is going to come down, and I want him right about there. Let's order our great eagles to fly over here, and our Illyrian archers to snipe their archers and see what damage we can do to them before we actually get to the nitty-gritty part of it. It is a shame that we have to fight other elves in this manner, but we can't be friends with both Avalorn and Yvresse. Let's actually swap them over to their Illyrian archers. Our guys are getting shot pretty badly. Might have to fall back. If we fall back this direction, especially into the woods, we should be good on that angle. I swear I can talk. I was playing a little bit of Warframe earlier, and while my speech was not much better in there, it was not nearly as cataclysmically bad. So let's actually get our dragons to move forward. They can start breathing on a lot of these units and doing some serious damage to them. And our great eagles, of course, are acting as a strictly flanking force. So let's start targeting with the dragons. Get them ready to burninate some spearmen. Dragons are probably going to take a little bit of damage from archers, but that's okay. Let's actually have our dragons fly over here, and then we'll have our great eagles come in from behind, possibly land together. And we've already routed some of their troops, though it's not a bad routing, all things considered. The fact that they have some cavalry right there is a little bit worrying. But our dragons can probably take care of it fairly well. What we'll do is we'll have our great eagles and our dragons drop in and just start scattering people. There's a little bit of a flank charge over here. Let's grab our swordmasters and charge up in here. And these units of spearmen we can charge in too. So one of our eagle claws got attacked. So I was not paying attention. Our monsters are doing some work down there, and these archers are just getting chewed up. Don't really think that we're going to lose this one. Let's grab these two units of spearmen and have them charge those Illyrians. Our line of battle has gotten a little screwed up. That's okay. Let's see if we can get our dragons out of there. They're starting to look a little beat up. We can have our great eagles charge, and it looks like that one dragon's been pretty badly hurt. Let's see if we can breathe on that enemy army stack to let that dragon get out. Essentially, once the dragon's back in the air, we don't have to worry too much. And our archers have completely come out of the woods because, again, I was not paying too much attention. Little off my Warhammer game this week, but I guess that's okay again. Alright, with them routed, let's grab these archers and start going after that loremaster of Hoeth. And we'll see if we can pull those great eagles out. Have our other dragon go back in and breathe. And in 8 seconds have our bigger dragon breathe. And that should do a fair amount of damage to these guys, all things said and done. Now, Phoenix, we can get you to charge that loremaster, and I will go after this one. Battle is very much weighted in our favor. These 2 units of spears will get them to start coming back. And the Illyrians. And we have ourselves a victory. And we didn't even lose any forces, though they were a little banged up by the end. Not exactly how I wanted things to go, but it was definitely one-sided. And we will take on warriors from these guys, because we don't want to completely wipe them out. They are elves, even if they're elves that are disagreeing with us. Actually, let's grab an Barded Ithelmar steed for Phoenix, or for Auric, I should say. And then I am going to grab probably the Ward of Hoeth. Actually, it would probably be better if I grabbed full plate armor. Make myself slightly harder to kill. And we will have Auric continue on while I fall back to Lothern, and we can start building up, and then Phoenix can help push up the coast a little bit. There is still one more large Yvressian stack that we have to deal with, but we're making a fair amount of gold per turn, and if we can take Yvresse, well, then Yvresse is kind of underrated. Let's see how our ranking with Avalorn is, because if we can get them to confederate, we do not want to join the war against Kothik. That kind of goes against our whole idea of confederating. And we do have a fair amount of influence, so we can spend that on improving our relations with Avalorn a little bit more. Having drinks with them, apparently in this case. Over in the Blasted Lands and everything, the Dark Elves are taking back their cities, but we weren't too worried about that. And Chaplain Grimaldus is holding Garand. He's going to have to hold that place for a fair bit. And down on our coast, we have Grim basically going along the coast trying to keep things all sorted. Now, there is a Yvressian stack moving this direction, and Grim might have to take them on. But he does have DY and Scotty with him, so there's a chance that he can win out very easily. We can upgrade Grand, and we're going to need a base to strike out from over here, so that's not a bad idea. We can't level up the Ancient Waystone at all, anymore anyway. And we could get some Silver Helms over here for that. I'm not too worried about it right now. Torsathai, we don't really want to upgrade that. The Broken Lands we're going to lose here pretty quick, so again, not too terribly worried. And Sunshine, we were having you go to Toranrock to build back up. So we'll end the turn there and see how it plays out. Order of the Loremasters going on down south. Looks like they're battling out with some lizard men. Pretty neat, all things considered. It's nice to see that Teclis is taking care of business down there. In this case, it would be my little brother. But again, the roles should really be reversed. I should be playing as Teclis, and my brother would be Tyrion. My brother is built like a brick wall. He's incredibly strong. Me, not so much. So proud of my brother, too. It's not even 30 yet, and he's pretty much ticked off all of the quote-unquote life goals that he could go for. And we're just going to let the computer take care of that one, because I'm not too worried about these lands. They were kind of a snub in the face of everything anyway. Why they didn't fully take over Black Creek Spire is beyond me. It looks like that black arc is coming closer to our mainland, which kind of sucks. And some Skaven down on the Southlands. Oh, that's Clan Pestilence, actually. They've been causing some problems, but it looks like the dwarves down there, the Spinous Sotek dwarves, have started to spread out a little bit, which is not bad. It's not exactly good for us, but it's not bad. And there is Arduval's main army stack. And that army stack right there was part of the reason we did not want to go to war with Kothik, because that would end badly for us.
I am quick to anger and slow to forgive.
So what does Hag Gref want? They have declared war upon us. So it looks like pretty much all of the other elves just kind of said nope to that entire war. But again, it's Harganath and it's on the west.
Bel Cordadris, the Scholar King. His knowledge bequeathed to those who searched, including where the third shard lay, and how to slay the worm that hoarded it.
Begone, servant of chaos! Strike, Gallifreyus!
Time is against us. There are others that perform their own rituals of dominance over the vortex.
Alright, so that is our ritual completed right now. So Black Creek Spire was sacked, Arcane Studies was done, and the Ritual of the Scholar has been completed, and we suddenly went very, very much into the red, which is not a good thing. So for our research, we've been working towards the more advanced stuff down at this end. I would love to get this, but we need a Tower of Mages and a Dragon Keep. So until then, what can we look for? Let's go with Unite Local Nobility. That will help us build a lot of stuff. And Auric, you can advance and try to take Carenthel, which you'll do on your next turn. And Phoenix, we're going to get you to follow up and go out to the Shrine of Loic. I'm going to return to Lothern and see what we can do there. And I've already forgotten what we need. Tower of Mages and a Dragon Keep, which I think we already have part of. There's the Dragon Keep, and that's the Tower of Mages. So we can do it at Lothern eventually. What it really comes down to is which one do we want to do first? They're both going to cost us a significant amount of gold. Like a huge amount of gold. And of course we have Erethrond with Mom the Doge going out to get us this Skull Island, which will allow us to build one of those without too much trouble. Now we have a sort of battle. Doesn't hurt. We'll get them to go take that one too. So for Lothern, what does our Dragon Keep give us access to? Dragon Princes and Star Dragons. Done. Done deal. No more need be said. In the High Elf army list, there was nothing cooler to me than the Dragon Princes of Kalador. The models were fantastic. I should have actually moved Agnew further this way. That's my bad. This is the army stack we got to worry about, and they're headed probably towards the Phoenix Gate, and then maybe in towards Reaver's Mark. So, Agnew, you've got a bunch of stuff to do on your end. But yeah, the Dragon Princes are by far my favorite unit.
I hear the Widowmaker.
Just, the models themselves were absolutely fantastic. There isn't really much else we can do. We're waiting on Grand up here, not way southwest of this, to get upgraded so that we can worry about some other stuff. And that's going to be 3 turns. We have some damaged buildings here. We might as well repair them. They're probably just going to attack again, but the longer we delay, the better off we're going to be. Those are just impromptu stuff anyway, and we're going to have to get the good chaplain to take out some of the Druchii buildings to slow them down. Again, I would love to take on Nagaron, but that army stack is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But we might be able to get him to take Ashrak, swing around, and take out a few. But we're going to need another lord up here to deal with that, and we don't have the finances for it just yet. So right now our focus has to be down here. But let's end the turn and see what the other nations decide to do, and hopefully it'll work out well for us. And I do like watching what the PC-controlled nations do. Kind of curious why they didn't fight the Skaven there, but the Order of Loremasters, they're mystical, and they understand things in very, very magical ways, and magic and stuff. Okay, I had no idea where that thought was going, but we're going to go with it anyway. They have some very veteran units down there. I was hoping that the Druchii would have been hurt a little bit more than they are. We have to slow them down on their production of scrolls of Morkai, I think it is? Well, they're scrolls. I know it's scrolls. To slow down their ritual progression. But at the same time, we can't really go nuts on dealing with them, because we just have too many threats on Ulthuan itself to deal with. And maybe Avalorn's going to take on the Phoenix Gate. That would be bloody incredible. And if we can stop Yvresse from getting in and helping the Phoenix Gate, that would also be bloody incredible. I'm pretty sure that Agnew's stack can deal with that Yvressian army. Not too confident in it, but I'm pretty sure it should be able to deal with it. And these troll skulls better not be on Ulthuan. Looks like they're a lizard man faction. Alright, so we completed the ritual of the scholar. The vessels of chaos are destroyed. Have an Utanian Vinter. Alright, so the winds of magic are reduced for a while, and we have to do the ritual of the explorer, which will eventually lead up to the ritual of the defender, Anarian himself. They do have another lord here, Bel Adhanel.
Can I offer assistance?
Let's have Auric go in. Couple of spearmen, couple of archers, couple of Illyrian archers. We should be able to handle that. So let's jump right into this and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It is excuse me, technically outside the city, and Bel Adhanel is the only guy on the field to start with, so they're going to have to position to get closer. He'll probably fall back towards where his forces show up at. I don't know if that sentence made sense. But let's group up our spearmen, and we'll put them over here for just a moment. We'll group up our swordmasters of Hoeth, same idea. Just set up our groups to begin with. I very rarely do that at the start. Let's put our Eagle Claws up here. Should give them a fair firing range to be able to hit almost everything. I want our Illyrians to be over here. They can come in from the flank. and our great eagles are going to back them up. We'll send our spearmen to be a solid wall down the center, and our archers to be slightly lower and just in front of our eagle claws. Oric, I want you in the dead center, of course, and the swordmasters of Hoeth, if I can select them properly, are going to be our left flank, and we're going to push this direction. So let's set our eagle claws up to be the bolts, the multi-shot I should say. Ooh, that was the wrong thing to do. I selected the archers instead of the Illyrian archers. Let's have our great eagles go after that unit of archers. Have our Illyrian archers hit theirs. Let's actually just pause pretty quick here so that I can unmistake myself. Send 2 units of spearmen after each one of their units of spearmen. And we'll send the loremasters after their lord. Have our lord come in. Now our forces should sweep in fairly easily.
Archers, Asur, attack!
What orders? Orders understood.
And we'll get Oric to use his Helm of Discord so that he screws up all of the enemies around him.
Moving out!
We'll have our archers go after their Illyrian horsemen. I very much doubt that our great eagles are going to lose out there. And we've routed their other unit of archers, which definitely doesn't hurt. We'll actually get our Illyrians to go over there and start shooting theirs. Enemy morale is breaking pretty quickly. I do really hate fighting other elves, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. And there's a victory. We don't want to kill off too many of them because they'll eventually be militia for us and productive members of society. We did kill their lord, about half their troops. Oh no, their lord survived. But he's not going anywhere. We're going to take the city.
Glory to the king. Our treasures are sacred.
We're just going to occupy, and Bel Hanel was killed. That's a mage's robe right there. Karen Thel. Now under our control, and we have access to Cinnabar, so essentially cinnamon, and some extra
Phoenix Court.
treasures per turn.
Her skill
Let's
is
put us
legendary.
back in the green pretty easily. Make Oric slightly harder to hit.
Defender of the Evergreen.
And Phoenix, we're going to send you after the Shrine of Loic.
Protect.
I'm going to drop to normal stance, not march stance right now, because if we get attacked like this, it could be bad. We're going to take a slight risk and start upgrading the Tower of Mages 2 so that we can get towards our next goal. Arathon, we're going to get you to pick up that island. Some wax sealed rations and some more treasure. We'll just keep you guys carrying on. You're picking up a lot of loot. Ironic that it's a fire animal and horseman out on the ocean doing all this. There's another 1,500 gold and a little bit of extra stuff. We'll send them off to this shipwreck. That should be good. We do have that admiral right there with the black arc. So Sunshine, there's nothing in your local area that can produce, which is rather odd. I usually have at least one production building per. We're going to be making a little bit of money. We'll upgrade that Tor to do what we need. And Dai has leveled up, so let's go in and see what Dai can level up to. We're going to grab Lilia's Blessing. Of course, Dai was one of the characters that was grabbed when we confederated.
Unlikely.
Swordmasters, Lothern Sea Guard, Great Eagles. This army has a lot of archers and 3 heroes. We should be able to block this army at the very least and engage it on our terms.
No.
That's a lot of Great Eagles and Illyrian Reavers. That's a heavy cavalry army. That could be bad. But Senina also leveled up. So what are we going to grab for Senina? She's got Soul Quench, she's got Evasion, Fiery Convocation. She's pretty much done all the way down there. Let's get her Hand of Glory and get her starting to augment. She is, of course, Chaplain's Battle Mage. And a really awesome friend who constantly reposts and likes and thumbs ups all the stuff the channel does. Senina, you are an awesome lady. But with that done, and this Cairn captured, we're going to have to see how it plays out. I apologize if I sound a little bit grady tonight, guys. My throat's been bugging me for the last couple of days. It's not been very good. But we'll give it at least one more campaign turn before we see about calling it a week. I've been really wanting to do this episode, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to. But I'm able to sit down and record for tonight, and it's pretty awesome. And the loremasters just vouchsafed one of their cities, which is always good. What I really need to do is get another lord up near Chaplain Grimaldus. And allow that lord to hold Grond while Chaplain goes out and takes names. The fact that Black Ark is coming closer to Ulthuan is a little disturbing, especially since it just went into Dread Expansion. Allowing it to get more troops and other things, yeah, it's not too great. But the army that was coming in via the ocean did kind of just leave. So I'm not too worried. That's that Avalornian stack right there. That's a lot of spears. A lot of spears. I'm really hoping you take on the Phoenix Gate. That would be incredible. So. Alright, this could be a tough one. He did assault our units beforehand, and if we do have to retreat, we have to retreat. But given the amount of cavalry they have and the fact that we have no spearmen whatsoever, we're going to be trying to hold that high ground and shoot them as they come in. We do have more archers than them, and we have a couple of heroes. So let's see how it works. So this is essentially the Alamo, and we are going to gamble on 7. It could bite us. It could make us a lot better. It did bite us. Okay. So our Sword Masters are going to be a unit. Our White Lions are going to be a unit. And our Archers are going to be a unit. I'm actually not too disappointed with how everything is set up. Except for the staggering. But that's okay. So, Agnew, you're pretty much going to be going down the center and causing some havoc. Die, we're going to have you over here, and we're going to get you to use as much as you can. I don't know what you're going to be able to do with no Winds of Magic, but that's what it is. And Scotty, we're going to have you on the left flank. So let's start this up and see how it turns out. Where are you going with those? There are 4 Great Eagles, not 3. Oh no, that is a princess on a Great Eagle. Makes things slightly more difficult. Scotty, we're going to get you to come down this end. We'll swap Senina over, or Die, sorry, over to this side. pause. Our White Lions and Swordmasters are far better on the charge. So if we're going to get into this, we want to be charging. And Agnew, we're going to get you to charge those Swordmasters of Hoeth, and we're going to send Scotty in too. Not so sure what we're going to do with Die just yet. Cavalry charge does beat infantry charge, but I'm hoping that our bonuses will make up for it.
Without fail, for order!
And they're doing pretty much what I expected them to do. They're sending their eagles to harass our archers. I'm just hoping that our swordsmen and our White Lions can hold out in melee combat, and it's looking like we're doing okay.
Without fail.
White Lion!
And for every one of their units that we break, we can bring another into the center and just start chopping.
Attack! What orders? Restoring order! To the fray! Uncertain! Draw back!
Maintaining order.
All is chaos!
Once our archers have regened from the minor battering they've taken, we'll get them to start trying to shoot down some of these great eagles and hopefully win.
Battle calls! For the king! White Lions!
Pull back.
It looks like Dai is retreating, which is not good. She was in battle with a great eagle.
Orders received.
Right now, the big battle that we have to win is in the center here. Agnew, we need to pull you back a little bit.
I never tire.
Or you might just straight up die. That could be bad. I think I clicked that on die herself, which is a bad thing.
Pull back!
That mage is doing a fair bit of damage. I don't know how much we're going to be able to do with this. But if we can take care of the great eagles, we should be fine.
Go! It will be done. Asurian willing. It shall be done. To the fray.
The greater good. Agnew, bend to my will.
Might be able to pull this out. Not exactly sure if we can, but we might be able to.
Swordmaster of Hoeth. Archer.
It really comes down to how much damage our archers can do in how short of a time.
Winds of magic rise.
Get Agnew to heal himself
Pull back.
back into this fight slightly.
For order.
He could make or break this fight, so hopefully he'll make it and not break it. Scotty, we're going to get you to charge those Swordmasters. Agnew, we're going to get you to charge in here.
It shall be done.
Turning into a bit of a clustery situation here. And it looks like Agnew has been brought down. That's definitely not a good thing. But at the very least, his death served to vouchsafe the island. Now we just have to cause as much damage to the Yvresse as we can in as short a time as possible. Hopefully without having any more of our units break. But with that mage still tearing things up, I sincerely doubt that we're going to be able to pull this battle back into a winnable place.
It shall be done.
But that doesn't mean we have to go down without a fight.
Asur, withdraw.
Archers! Yes!
And we only really have 2 units of archers left, so we'll see how this goes.
For Asurian!
In fact, I think withdrawing right now is probably a good idea. Save as many troops as we can, we'll speed it up. Get our people off the field. Sadly, we lost Agnew, but we did a lot of damage to them. Almost their entire force was wiped out in that fight.
Retreat!
Now hopefully it gives us an option to hire a lord. We definitely will not win a second time through. We're just going to let them auto-resolve. So Scotty and DY are both down as well. It's rather unfortunate. So we'll have to build up an army at Toranlek. But it really hurt Yvresse in the north, which means our southern forces are going to be able to roll through. War is hell, and sometimes sacrifices have to be made. Just a shame it was 3 of my friends, man. Why did it have to be my friends? For some reason I wanted to go on to the whole Rambo thing about no legs and stuff in First Blood. Don't know why. It's a similar vein of things. Now, if these guys start coming down towards the good chaplain, we'll get Grim to deal with them. Farewell, Agnew. Farewell, Scotty. But we didn't lose DY? Scotty and Agnew. That's... looks like DY went down too, but it didn't declare it. So we have a little bit of money. Let's go in and recruit a lord. Let's grab Silas. And we're going to rename him. I have the best person. That would be our old buddy Will. And get him some spearmen. It's not great that we lost Agnew, but Will is an acceptable replacement. Well, I wouldn't really say replacement. I'd say more a person to carry on their legacy. And we will, of course, go after Lassili. I cannot pronounce that elven word. Let's see if we can actually confederate with Avalorn now.
Well-chosen words and fine wine are the marks of civilization. Certainly not.
Apparently they don't like us so much anymore, and it's rapidly decreasing. I guess when we refused to go to war with Kothik, it kind of swapped them over to not liking us. I don't think we even have a...
I bid you welcome in the name of the king.
We don't even have a non-aggression pact with them anymore. That's kind of weird. So we may have a war on the inner island, too. So let's look to Kothik and see if we can confederate with them.
Phoenix King, stranger? No.
Not gonna happen there.
Waiting.
Tyrannox still is holding on over there.
Offer assistance?
Fortress of Dawn doesn't like us nearly enough.
Loyal servant.
Megarythe.
Ah, it is good to receive guests of quite impossible.
I guess they don't really like us that much either. Yvresse is at war with us and going down rapidly.
Greetings.
Wonder if we can get them to join a confederation.
Refuse.
Okay. Well, it was worth a try. But that's probably a good place to end it for this week, guys. So if you did like the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with a 232, possibly see yourself up in one of the Let's Plays, or just to join the community, just hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes up. And remember guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.